am Frank Zizidit, coming to you live from Oyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. We'll take a look at the headlines. Supreme Court adjourned Nnamdi Kanu's hearing to next month. Graves to avoid rape in Pakistan. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for joining us. We begin this afternoon with a judicial report that the Supreme Court today has adjourned the hearing of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, to May 11th. The decision of the Supreme Court was disclosed in a tweet by Kanu's special counsel, Aloy Ejimakor. According to reports, the Apex Court had earlier fixed the hearing for today. The secessionists had on November 3, 2022, filed an appeal at the Supreme Court against the Court of Appeal's ruling halting his release from the DSS custody. Kalu appealed against the 28 October 2022 decision of the Court of Appeal, which stayed the execution of its earlier order. Away from that, the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, has said that governors of the 36 states of the Federation have resolved to meet with President Muhammadu Buhari over the new revenue draft presented to him by the Revenue to present the new draft formula to the National Assembly before May 29, 2023, when a new government will take over the reins of power. Tambuwal disclosed this at a meeting of the 36 governors under the urges of the Nigeria Governors Forum in Abuja. Of stamp duties, amongst others. In a separate development, President Muhammadu Buhari has been applauded for initiating reforms for positive and sustainable development of the Niger Delta region. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Umana, gave these commendations while declaring open the NDDC PPP Summit held in Lagos on behalf of the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. According to the Minister, led of global best practices in public governance. While harping on the need for supervision, Umana argued that the ministry has well-defined limits, giving clear demarcation between supervision and interference. Plan 2020 through 2026 with the aim of advancing Nigeria's position in the observance of international best practices of human rights. The Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, disclosed this after the council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu. The approval was based on the Memorandum of Policy relating to human rights, which he presented to the council. The AGF recalled that 130 million naira was awarded to the family of Akpo 6 by the court, even though the case presidential candidate of the Labour Party, LP, Peter Obi, has accused the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, of being partial. The LP candidate was replying to a preliminary objection filed by INEC at the tribunal, which appeared to be in support of the candidate of the All Progressives, the electoral body, for standing by Tinubu. He noted that both the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal had in the past cautioned INEC to place itself in a place of neutrality, remain fair and focused. Atiku Abubakar has said the flag bearer for the All Progressives Congress APC in the 2023 presidential poll, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was never fit constitutionally to run for the presidency. Atiku also asserts that he has been able to run for the elect Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Meanwhile, the former vice president's comments were contained in a response to Tinubu's and APC's reply regarding his petition challenging the process and the outcome of the February 25 presidential election. Has said that no Nigerian life has been lost so far in the crisis engulfing Sudan. He said that these at a media briefing after the Federal Executive Council meeting, noting that the federal government had already perfected plans to evacuate over 5,000 citizens in the war-torn country. Dada noted that the first batch of Nigerians have been conveyed. hinting that citizens will be conveyed via buses through Egypt and consequently airlifted. The minister added that diplomats, women and children are top priority. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdul Rashid Bawa, has reiterated the Commission's readiness to revoke the registration of any NGO operating in the region found to have a link with any terrorist group. Bawa in Maiduguri today. Speaking through the Maiduguri Zonal Commander of the Commission, Oshodi Johnson, the EFCC helpsman said Section 56 of the Terrorism Act also empowers the Special Control Unit against money. While he did not say if the Commission has made any such revocation, but cited the case of Aisha Wakil alias Mama Boko Haram, who was investigated by the Commission. On Sudan conflict, the chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NITCOM, Abike Debere Arewa, says more Nigerian students are to be evacuated from Sudan today. She said this during an interview with newsmen. According to her, the students will be vigilant to monitor the safe arrival of the students down to the country. However, she lamented that there are many undocumented Nigerians seeking evacuation from the North African country. And back here, the executive secretary of the Atta made the call in commemoration of the World Immunization Week celebrated in the last week of April, with the aim of highlighting the collective action needed to protect people from vaccine-preventable diseases. Speaking with Spectrum Television, then 80% of people, particularly children, are protected from preventable diseases. The executive secretary added that the exercise is free and would continue even after the immunization week. We move to Africa, where in Kenya, the country has said that one of the country's highest profile pastors would face charges over the mass killing of his pharaoh. The head of the New Life Prayer Center and Church has been arrested and is being processed to face criminal charges related to the mass killing of his followers. He added that the said church has been shut down and over 100 people who were holed up at the premises have been evacuated and will be required to record statements. Meanwhile, Odero's arrest comes on the heels of an ongoing investigation into Paul Mackenzie Ntenge, the cult leader accused of the deaths of 98 people linked to his church. A step of talks to end the fighting between forces loyal to rival military generals. The outbreak of violence has reportedly left more than 400 people dead and forced tens of thousands to flee the country. Sudan's Army Chief General Abdel Al-Burhan said the extension follows an initial proposal from the Regional African Bloc Intergovernmental Authority on Development to create a sustainable cessation of hostilities and end the fighting permanently. On the foreign scene, parents in Pakistan are now putting padlocks on their late daughters' graves to prevent them from being raped by some randy men. Reports say, meanwhile, Haris Sultan, an ex-Muslim atheist activist and the author of the book The Curse of God, Why I Left Islam, blamed headline Islamist ideology for such depraved act and said Pakistan has created such a horny, sexually frustrated society that people are now putting padlocks on the. Still on the foreign scene, Pope Francis has been invited to visit Ukraine by the country's Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal. During a call with the Pontiff, Shmyhal said he discussed the Ukrainian peace formula and a potential path and assistance from the Vatican to achieve all the steps of President Vladimir Zelensky's peace plan. The Ukrainian official, also had said that he will visit Kyiv and Moscow on a peace mission. And still to come in the news, Lampard defends fuming Chelsea fans after latest defeat. To stay with us. Thanks for staying with us, and now to the rest of the news stories. In business, the United Nations has disclosed that the shortage of the naira in recent times crippled the Nigerian economy. The UN disclosed these in economy, especially the informal sector. According to the organization, the general African economy is projected to expand 2.5%, which is a drop from last year and is insufficient to curtail poverty levels on the continent. It explained that this is as a result of weaker external demand and tighter financial conditions, adding that many African economies are at risk of Still in business, the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Limited, NLNG, has said that gas demand in Nigeria will increase by 50% in the next 30 years. The managing director of NLNG said the country's gas demand was growing in tandem with its population. He stated that the country needs both private and government funding to harness its huge gas reserves, noting that Nigeria's consumption of liquefied petroleum gas has increased by over 2,500% from 60,000 metric tons annually to achieve the decade of gas, after which it would need to partner with the private sector for additional funding. We move to health, where the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has alerted Nigerians about a suspected substandard cough syrup called Nature Cold. The cough syrup, which is said to be manufactured by Franklin Group, is reported to have caused the deaths of 6 children under the age of 5 at a health facility in the health district of Funding in the Northeast in kidney function after consuming the suspected substandard cough syrup. NAFDAC, in a press statement on its website, said that the product is not in its database, but has advised importers, distributors, retailers, and consumers. The agency added that members of the public should desist from purchasing medicine and medicinal products from unauthorized sources, such as roadside vendors and street hawkers, as fake drugs are mostly smuggled into the country from neighboring countries and distributed through such inappropriate channels. Still in health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, says it has recorded 152 deaths from Lassa fever in Nigeria so far this year. In its 15th week Lassa fever situation report, the NCDC said there had been a total of 877 confirmed cases recorded from 26 states and 100 viral hemorrhagic illness caused by the Lassa virus, and is known to be endemic in Benin, Ghana, Guinea, Liberia, Mali, Sierra Leone, Togo, and Nigeria. We move to sports, where Frank Lampard has admitted angry Chelsea fans had every right to Lukuta's own goal, and Brian Mbeumo's late strike condemned Lampard to his latest demoralizing loss since replacing the sacked Graham Potter. Meanwhile, Chelsea has failed to score in 6 of their last 7 games and are languishing in 11th place in the Premier League. Still in sports, Nigeria under 24 male handball team lost their opening game to host Bulgaria at the 4th International Handball Federation Emerging Nations Championship. The game, played at the Palace of Culture and Sports in Varna, saw the hosts beat their African rivals 23-19 to make it their second win in the tournament. They had earlier defeated Azerbaijan. Nigeria managed to stay close in the game and exerted some pressure on Bulgaria, especially with the first half ending 11-13 in favor of the host. The Europeans, however, showed they wanted the win more, beating the Nigerian team coached by Solomon Yola by 4 points to stay top of Group D. Meanwhile, 2 wins have qualified Bulgaria to the semi-finals of the tournament, where they face Cuba, the top team in Group C, on Saturday. A total of 12 teams, grouped into 4, are currently participating in the tournament, which is expected to end on Sunday. On entertainment, two of the executive producers of Gangs of Lagos have revealed some of the initial titles of the movie. They revealed these in an interview with Newsman. The producers, Demi Olobanjo and Adesegun Adetoro, said Prime Video's first African original went by various names, including Once Upon a Time in Isale Eko. In Olubanwo's wind best with the story, eventually they landed on the title we now have after shooting. Still on entertainment news, Afrobeat sensation Davido has announced a 2-week North American tour in support of his chart-topping album, Timeless. The megastar took to his Instagram to reveal the tour schedule, and tickets will go on sale starting Friday. The highly anticipated tour comes on the heels of the release of Davido's 4th album, which features 17 tracks and had dropped on March 31st, 2023. Reports say that to 15th, 2023. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You've been watching Spectrum TV News at 4. I am Francis Edit. Do enjoy the rest of your day.